Good morning, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing fine. Welcome aboard, guys. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, guys. Before I start, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new, and don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to smash a like. Don't forget to smash a like. That'd be great, because you know what, the algorithms on YouTube, you know how they do. So guys, please smash a like. That'd be absolutely fantastic, and put your notifications on all that sweet stuff. Let's get straight into it. Of course, guys. Now, obviously, I've been speaking a lot about various managers, who's going to come to Man United, Amarim sacking. I mean, there's so much to digest over this last week. It's been crazy. I mean, you have to be I think there should be, in the future, there should be like a university degree around Man United. I really do. Because the way things go, you have to be a finance expert. You have to be a psychologist. You have to be a sports expert, up-to-date expert. Everything about that. You have to be a journalist. You have to be, guys, look, it's been a mad one. But now, in regards to the future of Man United, because that's what's most important, is the future of Man United. Regardless what has happened, it's happened. And we can't do anything about it. And we have to move on ultimately. Now, there is rumors about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, going further down the pecking order in regards to the future of Man United. And this brings into question Ineos and the owners. How do they think? How do they do things? They check social media, guys. They check social media and they say, oh, this Ole Gunnar Solskjaer news, oh, they're not liking it. The media not liking it. We better put that back a little bit. Let's do that. And this is what they do. This is why they don't have their own brains. They know nothing about football. This is the ownership of Man United, for crying out loud, Now, there is talk about Luis Enrique in various reports in Spain and over here in the Middle East. Luis Enrique has said he would be interested in taking the Manchester United job on one condition. What's that condition, guys? Of course, we know transfers. Now, one of the players that Luis Enrique would like to bring to Manchester United is Rodrigo. Rodrigo, of course, is the Real Madrid player. Now, Luis Enrique said he wouldn't mind going to Man United, but he wants players of the ilk of Rodrigo to come to Manchester United. Now, guys, how likely is that to happen? I don't know. You know what? Pretty low, I would have thought. Why would Rodrigo want to come to Man United? Man United is like, I don't know. Man United is like a poison chalice. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think a player who's currently playing at Real Madrid would want to go to Manchester United as we speak right now. I'm not saying that it would never happen. It's not going to happen. But as we speak right now, I don't think anyone would, in their right mind, would want to come to Manchester United. But Luis Enrique has quoted as saying that he wants to go to Man United. He won't mind going to Man United, but obviously he wants backing. And that is the key word, backing. Because we can get anyone in. We can get anyone in. But if they're not going to be backed, then it's no point, guys. And this is exactly what we've been preaching for a very, very long time. I don't think these them minions know what we're talking about. When we talk about sacking Erik Ten Hag, it's not about Ten Hag. When we sort of talk about not sacking Amarim, it's not about Amarim. It's about the board. It's about until you get rid of the board and you concentrate, put your eggs in the board's basket, or get the board out, getting Ineos out first, and we can get the Glazers. We can move on that, because without Ineos, the Glazers have not got a leg to stand on. They needed Ineos to survive at Man United. Ineos gave them a platform. Ineos gave them a mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Ineos gave them a life support machine, guys. We should be concentrating on that before we go after the manager. And this is exactly what I've been talking about. Get the manager out of my club. He's a fraud, bruv. Let me wear some sunglasses and make myself look like a 5-year-old. This is what we're talking about, guys. Idiocy. We've become banter because of the man-dem minions. The man-dem minions who like offering people out and things like that. It's ridiculous. We need to start being a serious football club, guys. You would never be a man-dem minion in Inter Milan or Juventus or AC Milan. You would never be a man-dem minion there, because you'd be thrown over a bloody bridge. That's what happened. Guys, this football club needs to be serious, right? And we need to target the problems, the most important problems, not the source, not the symptoms, the cause. That's what we need. The Glazers need to go. Ineos need to go, because whilst they are there, guys, and I'm going to tell you, I was right about Erik Ten Hag. I was right, sacking him wouldn't do anything. And I'm going to be right that sacking Amram won't do anything. And let me tell you this, guys. You man them minions and all you guys, you think that you're going to be right. You were always proven wrong because we have not got better. And we're not going to get better because we've got these owners at this football club. That's why we're not going to get better. Things are not going to get better, guys. We are not going to win the league like this. The only way we're going to win the league is what I've preached for, what I fought for many, many months was the Qatar or the full sale, whether Apple, Amazon, Qatar, whatever it was, the full sale. Glazers out, debt cleared. That is how Man United are going to succeed. You can have your opinions on managers, but most important, it doesn't matter, guys. I'm telling you, you think that Darren Fletcher, Michael Carrick, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer are going to be better managers than Ruben Amorim. Guys, there were people, you're talking about a Sat Besiktas and Middlesbrough coach, right? This is what we're talking about here, right? Sat Besiktas and Middlesbrough coach. Nuts. And you think that when certain sections of the fans were booing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer before he left, you think that's all going to suddenly turn and change? He will get a new manager bounce, maybe, right? Maybe. But I'm telling you this, guys, on the long term, he's not good enough. I've seen Man United go to Barcelona and get whooped up 4-0 in aggregate under Ole. You know, so I don't want people who are not competent. Manchester United need discipline. Man United need a disciplinarian, someone who can go in there and say, right, just like Roy Keane said yesterday, when he walks into the dressing room, you're like, right, here we go. You know, not allow him. He's an idiot. You know what I mean? You know, listen, guys. Amram was trying to do that. Amram was a 40-year-old manager. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer apologized to Rashford. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know, didn't call out the ball. It was a ball's puppet. It was a Glazers puppet. Amram's the opposite. He got rid of Rashford and he called out the ball. Now, what do we want here? You can't scream Ineos and Glazers out if you love the Ineos fanboys. If you love the Ineos puppets and the Glazer puppets. You can't be that way. You can't have two sides of the spectrum here, guys. You know, you think sacking the manager, you've got some little victory here, some moral little victory that, oh, look, they sacked the manager who was 3 points away from fourth place with half a team and a 4 out of 10 transfer window. Come on, guys. You know, we need to be fair here. There's nothing I want more than this football club, than these fans to unite, to be together and to be on one common goal. Now, the common goal, we can have opinions as long as we can debate opinions and we can have an intelligent conversation about opinions. But the common goal should be the owners, guys. And that's it. Now, of course, there's going to be spin. There's going to be spin. Today, I'm hearing about Yan Diomande. Right now, Yan Diomande has been linked with a transfer to Man United, just like Rodrigo has been linked. Obviously, let me just give you a little bit about the Rodrigo transfer. A report from Spanish outlet Defensa Central claims that Luis Enrique wants Manchester United to sign Brazil international Rodrigo is a priority target ahead of Enrique's potential arrival at Old Trafford. That is what is going on. Okay, guys. All right. Okay. This is what's going on at the moment. That is called into Spanish reports. And I've heard the same over here, guys. Now, another transfer that would attract Luis Enrique or Manchester United is Yan Diomande. Claims that Man United have made a £78 million, €90 million offer for Yan Diomande. Very, very interesting. A 19-year-old left winger, right winger, attack midfielder is valued about 120, right? So he's very expensive. It's a little bit too expensive for Yan Diomande, but he's a very good player, currently playing at RB Leipzig, of course. Now, these rumors are going to circulate. Of course they are. But I'm at the position now where I'm like, okay, I've heard this. I've got this news. Great. Great. That's fantastic. That's great. But I want to see action now. I've said it yesterday, and I reiterate right now, guys. I reiterate my stance right now. If this club are serious, if this club want to redeem some element of respect, these owners, go and get Luis Enrique now. Go and get Luis Enrique now. Go on. Go and get your guy. Doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, we're Manchester United. He's not signing a new contract, guys. So go and get your guy. I don't want to hear about Tuchel. I don't want to hear about steadying the ship. He's an England manager. Go and get Luis Enrique right now. Let's see what we can do with Luis. All right? And look, guys, I know what you're going to say, but he's not going to be backed. It's no point getting him. He's not being okay, that's fine. But it's better than getting Darren Fletcher and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Michael Carrick. It's better than getting those guys, isn't it? All right? So we get Luis Enrique at the end of the season, and they back him. Now, look, Man United under Aaron, like, we got the strike force sorted out. We got Cunha, we got Embremo, and we got Sesko, right? And we got Lamens. The midfield needs to be sorted out. That is the most important thing. The midfield. Man United need to spend literally 200 million on that midfield. The squad is weak. We got too many average players in there. We got too many players that have sacked various managers. That they shouldn't be there anymore. You know? Luis Enrique, you're looking at the pool of managers in you right now. Luis Enrique is the only guy I think, yeah, that's the guy. I like him. It's something we can all get on board with. I like that guy. You know, so that's what I'm talking about, guys. Absolutely. Big up everyone in the stream. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome aboard to Stretford Post. Hope you're well. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget whilst you're in here, guys. Let me just read out some of your comments. You absolute legends. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome aboard, guys. I hope you're all doing well, guys. Morning, Scott. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Morning, Benny. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. And big up, Sam. Good to see you again. Absolutely. Big up, everyone. Everyone here. Big up, Vaughan. What's going on, my guy? Hope you're doing well, my friend. Good to see you. Good morning, Sal. Do you think these Man United players has the World Cup in their minds, reason why we don't see intensity? I don't know, Vaughan. It could be. It could be. I feel like the fitness is the problem, in my opinion, Vaughan. I'm not in their bodies. I don't know what they're doing or in their minds. One thing I would say, I think it's a little bit of a coincidence that the likes of Luke Shaw are fit again before the World Cup. You know what I mean? Fit in quotation marks. He is a little bit chubby, but he is fit in quotation marks. But I wouldn't be surprised, because obviously these players, a lot of them are frauds anyway. And that's what I would say. Look, the World Cup is on. But if I was to give my analysis, Vaughan, I would just say that these players are just simply not fit. I don't think they're fit. When I used to go to Man United games back in the day, right, I've been to over 500 Man United games in my life, and I used to see players coming off the pitch. I remember seeing in front of me Patrice Evra vomiting on the pitch because he tried so hard. He was running. Sweat used to be dripping from the player's head. Nowadays, I don't see that. I don't see that same intensity. I don't see Man United on that level anymore in regards to intensity, in regards to wanting to win and wanting it that much. I don't see it anymore, guys, unfortunately. Benny. Big up, Benny. How you doing? I hope everyone has seen the 1958 video. If you haven't, please take a look of Amram Ruben and Freddie Mercury. I've seen it, mate, Benny. But at the end of the day, it's just making a mockery of everything. That's making a mockery of the situation, Benny. It's a mockery. You're laughing about it. It's funny. Yeah. You know, I want seriousness. I want aggression. I want anger. This is no joke. This is no time to be making videos about Live 8 in 1989 or whatever it was, 1985. This is not, at the end of the day, Man United need to be serious, guys. You know what I mean? That's what I would say. No chance, Sal, what we are going on right now, Enrique or anyone with a brain would entertain this job. I think you're right, Scott. Stephen, big good morning, Sal. And all red, big up yourself. Heard the rumor that Wilcox is getting the pressure and maybe on the way out. Guys, the problem is, right, and it's exactly what Peter Schmeichel, go and check out my video on my Twitter page, guys, what Peter Schmeichel said. He said that Ruben Amorim was sacked because of Wilcox's ego. That's why Ruben Amorim was sacked, because Wilcox has got an ego. Managers should not be sacked because of the owner's got an ego. They should be sacked based on results and things like that, not because you hurt their feelings, you hurt their fragile little ego. And I absolutely agree with Peter Schmeichel there. Peter Schmeichel said it 100% perfect. You know, they've made a mistake. They made a mistake, and we will be proven right. The community will be proven right. You know. Yale, big up. Those who want Ruben out, those people got their egg on their face when we get interim for 6 months. Look, guys, we may get a new manager bounce, but long term, we are not going to win the league. We are not going to win the Champions League. And people say, well, we're not going to win the league under Ruben Amorim either. Well, let me just tell you something. Ruben Amorim is trying to build the foundations of the football club, something that those managers are not going to do. Those managers that we're mentioning, Carrick, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, they're going to be more interested in getting a short-term bounce, a Red Bull FC. That's what they're going to be doing, getting a little rise and then drop. That's what's going to happen. We're going to get a rise, then drop. That's what's going to happen with Manchester United with these kind of interim managers. What Ruben Amorim was trying to do is trying to lay the foundations, get rid of the bad eggs, try and build for the future. And I guarantee you, he would have more chance of winning the league if he was backed than any one of those managers. Not forget, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was given 400 million at Manchester United and didn't do anything, guys. People were booing him. We lost 5-0 to Liverpool at Old Trafford. We lost 6-1 to Tottenham Hotspur. Guys, we lost 4-0 to Everton, 4-1 to Watford. Go on. People were booing him. And the problem is, and I'll tell you why, they want to get Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I'll tell you why they want to get Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because they've seen what happened before. They know he's a legend at Man United. They know he's a legend at Man United. So they know that anyone who turns against Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is deemed an enemy at the club. And it's going to take the attention away from the most important thing, which is Ineos and the Glazers. That's what they want. That's why they're doing it. And it's about time people wake up and smell the bloody coffee. That is what it is. But people are just, I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't know. The Ruben Amorim thing, they just didn't use their brain. And that is it. You know, at the end of the day, they just didn't use their brain if they've got one. They didn't use their brain. Now, I would much rather listen to people with intelligence, like Peter Schmeichel, like Mark Bosnich said the other day. I would much rather listen to these people who are not all about being on the media and puppets to the Glazers and Ineos, like Gary Neville and people like that. I'd much rather to listen to Roy Keane, Peter Schmeichel, and obviously Mark Bosnich and people like that who know what they're talking about, who've played for this great football club, you know? Stephen, Ineos and the Glazers have set this club back years. We can't even get into European football, never mind win titles. We are years and miles behind top 8 teams. At the end of the day, we can only change that. Man United are not a top 8 team. Man United are the most celebrated, third most supported team in the world. We have potential to be at the top, and we got every single tool to be at the top. The only thing we have a problem is the ownership, right? Because once the ownership go, Man United make so much money organically that our FFP and PSR would be through the roof. We are not a top 8 team, and we should never accept being a top 8 team. Never. That's why we compete against being a top 8 team, because they would love us to be a top 8 team. That Glazers, that Ineos, they would love us to be a top 8 team. We do not talk about top 8, my friend Stephen. We do not talk about that because they want you to think like that. They want you to say, are we a top 8 team? Because you know what? It doesn't cost much money to be in the top 8. Man United accumulate more money than any other team in the world apart from Real Madrid. Any other team in the world. We go for the top. We do not let them off the hook. We never let them off hook. We do not let the Glazers and we do not let Ineos off the hook because they want you to think like that. They don't care about bitter feelings or things like that. They love that sort of thing. Should we just accept that we are a top 8 team? Yeah. We're not a top 8 team though. With little facilities under Ruben Amorim, we were 3 points from 4th. Now, if we took advantage of all the tools that we have, being one of the biggest clubs in the world, right? If we took advantage of that, we would be bloody in the top 2 fighting for the league, where we should be. You know, and this is exactly what I've been talking about. Good morning, Ephraim. Hope you're well. As an Ivorian, big up Ivory Coast, I pray Yanda Diamande to United. We absolutely ruin him, probably. Hope you're good, Sal. Big up, my friend. Big up, Coco. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Good to see you. Ephraim, Sal, these players do not need nice person. We need a manager who can be respected. Exactly that. Can be respected. And in the dressing room. Absolutely. Morning, Dave. I agree. We need a disciplinarian. Ole almost took the United to Division 1. The board should be stupid for even thinking about it. You know, the worrying thing about it, Sam, is that they are looking at social media to make their decision. They're not thinking about it for themselves. They're not using their logic. They're not using their intelligence. They're looking at the social media and they're looking at the popular narrative. That's what they're doing. They're not actually going out there thinking for themselves, thinking with their own brain. They're just looking at the popular narrative. They're idiots. David, what's going on? Good morning, United fans. All Man United fans, we need Xavi to build our culture back to where it belongs. Average good players need to go. It doesn't matter, David. Like I said at the beginning of the show, we can have Xavi, we can have Tuchel, we can have Luis Enrique, right? Barring that Xavi got scored by Eric Ten Hag in Europa League, let me just say that. But anyway, let me just say something. Whatever manager we get, David, it doesn't matter until these balls are here, because we're going to be on a cycle. Ruben Amorim's better than Xavi, and these people. Let me tell you that right now. He is, right? What he did at Sporting Lisbon was unrivaled, mate. You think Portuguese League, 20 years without a title, being unbeaten in the Champions League, he probably would have won the Champions League, right? But he chose to come to Manchester United, right? Whilst the Glinios are still at this football club, we are still going to fail. We are not going to win the league. And this is something that these them minions and the ones around them who support them, this is something that I've been trying to preach for years and years and years, and they just don't want to listen. They just want to focus on the manager, the front page of the book, and not reading the book. You know what I mean? That's all they are focused on. Just that. It's ridiculous. And let's not forget Xavi got, he done well at Barca originally, but he ended up losing his job, a Barca legend as well. Yeah, I'll take Enrique, like you said. We need that midfield sorted out. A lot of these players are not exactly. Sal, spot on. Enrique is a ruthless manager who do not care about the name of the players. He would discipline the players. Exactly. And what did Luis Enrique do to PSG? He got rid of all the superstars. And he brought in proper players, guys, young players that are going to fight for the badge. What did he do? He won the Champions League. That's what we're talking about, guys. Proper manager is Luis Enrique. Only Luis Enrique for me. There's no other manager out there that I look at and think, yeah, wow. I could pick the bones out of Tuchel. I could pick the bones out of Xavi. I can't pick the bones out of Luis Enrique. I think Luis Enrique is a fabulous manager. And I think his personality is balanced. It's not way over. It's like balanced. And he would be the guy. What he did in that Champions League final alone against Inter Milan, right? And Inter Milan are no mugs, guys. Is absolutely incredible. Big up Avril. Big up Singapore. Hope you're doing well. Benny, in fairness to Schmeichel, he's only ex-player to call their owners out, not like the Mark Bosnich called them out. Yep. As well. There's a few of them that did. It's all on my Twitter page. I am aware of all of them, of course, guys. I spoke to Mark Bosnich. I know Mark Bosnich. And what I would say is that Schmeichel's absolutely right, because he doesn't have his own interest at heart. He has Manchester United. He's not looking at the Glazers. Oh, I need the Glazers for hotel football. I need them because it's a conflict of interest and blah, blah, blah. He's actually speaking for what is best for the actual football club. Do you know what I mean? Ole's almost destroyed United before he was sacked. Now he wants to come back to to finish the mission by taking United to the Conference League. United board are full of foolish people. Absolutely. Absolutely. We need a disciplinarian. Absolutely do. Yeah, we do. And Luis Enrique is that. Joe, good morning. Hassan, I hope you're good. Good morning, Joe. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you're doing good. Good bless up, my friend. Glazers and Ineos floated Ole's name around to see what the vibe was going around. Exactly that. And haven't got the right vibe. So now they spin and more and top managers will get named. Glazers spin. Exactly that, Benny. Unfortunately, there's so many mad, stupid people out there. They won't see that, mate. Look, guys, I remember like they did it last season with Mainu. They did it, with the vibe about Mainu. If we sell Mainu and whatever, they did that. And they looked at social media and they thought, no, we better get away from this. No, they don't like this. Let's get away from this and blah, blah, blah. And that's what they did. You know what I mean? Evening, Renee. So how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Big up yourself. Big up Callie. Sal, got a vent. All these other YouTube channels are starting to turn the heat on Ineos now. They've got their four at the back. But where was that energy before? Shake my head. Thank you so much, Renee. So I know, mate. This is the only place to be. Stretford Post is the only place to be. The originals are here. The subscribers are here. The Stretford Post. You will see that this was always the realest channel to be. It's always the one that's going to be right. Because we're right about Eric Ten Hag. We're right about Amorim. And we're going to be right in the future as well, guys. Because we don't call things based on egotistical feelings. We base things on facts. We base things on context. We look at things from every single angle. We're not them minions. Yeah, bruv. No, bruv. Get him out of my club, bruv. Portuguese fraud, bruv. We're not one of them. We are proper, guys. We're not them minions. You know what I mean? Let me get 17 people on my channel just to nod the head like that, like the Churchill dog. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, get him out the club. Yeah, man, standards, man. Yeah, standards. What standards? You don't even know standards. You don't know what it's about to have standards. Mate, you look like a bloody cannonball. Stop talking about standards if you do not know about standards. If you don't know what it takes to get to standards, don't talk about standards because you don't know what it takes to about standards. Listen, guys, look, I'm tired of all the buzzwords, the sensationalist, sound bites and things like that. I'm tired of it. I want to look at things on facts. And you know what? We speak the facts from now on. This is not about Ruben Amorim. You know what I mean? And all they can do, this is what these Ruben Amorim and these I'll call them Ineos bootlickers. This is all they do. Tears, tears, tears. Tears about what? You're going to have the tears when Man United go out of business sooner or later. You are the ones who are going to have the tears. There's no tears here. There's only facts. There's only facts in this stream, guys. We're trying to educate you, and all you could go is hold that, tears. They're getting cooked on Twitter. They're getting cooked in there. 2 of my tweets have gone viral. Guys, people don't understand. They are getting cooked. They're getting cooked, guys, because everyone knows Peter Schmeichel. So some guy who weighs 300 pounds or wears sunglasses on a stream is going to say he's better knowledgeable than Mark Bosnich, who used to play for Man United, and Peter Schmeichel, who used to play for Man United, who have no conflict of interest, by the way. You're trying to say that they've got bigger opinions than them? Of course they haven't. Big up, Renee. So, Joe, get rid of a board, then we can start building again. Absolutely, man. Build the foundation, of course. Morning, my guy, Mark. What's going on, brother? Hope you're doing well. Morning. Hope you're well, mate. Good to see you. I'm interested in who might come in as a new manager, but until the Galenius are gone, I can't get hyped. Exactly that, Mark. I can't get excited anymore. That excitement has been taken away from me. But the thing is, like I said, and now even when I think about when I think about Luis Enrique, or I think about Xavi, or I think about Tuchel, I can't get excited either because I'm looking at it and think, okay, they bring him in. That's great. We get a new manager, a bit of experience, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? But then again, I'm thinking that, you know what? I felt the same excitement about Jose Mourinho, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and Ruben Amorim. So how comes, what's going to happen? What's going to be different? What's the difference between Jose Mourinho and for example, Ruben Amorim? There's not much difference there. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, they're not going to back that manager. They don't back that manager. We know where we're going to go. We're not going to go anywhere. We're not going to win the league. And certainly, we're not going to win a league by keep sacking managers. 10 managers in 12 years. What does that tell you? Have we been successful? No, absolutely not. So why are we doing the same thing over and over again? Well, I said the only thing we haven't done is persevere. That is the only thing we haven't done. The only thing we haven't done in this game is persevere. We haven't persevered. We haven't stuck with it. We haven't said we don't care about what Ruben Amorim says. We're going to back him and we're going to make sure he's successful. They could have took what Ruben Amorim said 2 ways. They said, okay, Ruben, we understand what's going on. What's wrong? I need backing. I need midfielder. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, we're going to get which midfielder's gone. They should have backed him, reanalyzed it in the summer. That's what they should. Wrong timing. Just like Peter Schmeichel said, wrong timing. Sacking Ruben Amorim now was the wrong thing to do. And it was. They should have waited till the summer and reevaluated. I'm telling you right now, we would have gotten the Champions League this season. I don't think we'll get it now. I really don't. I think we would have gotten the Champions League this season. Now, guys, God forbid, right? We need this FA Cup, by the way. This FA Cup tie against Brighton Hove Albion on Sunday becomes extra weight, becomes extra important. Because if Man United do not qualify for Europe via the league, we need the FA Cup to fall back on. And we all know that the FA Cup is not easy to win. Right? So if we get knocked out against Brighton, who are a decent side, on Sunday, again, here we go again, isn't it? And then we got Man City, and then we got Arsenal coming up in the league. Man City and Arsenal got big things to play for. They're going to be well up for it. Now, even if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer comes to this football club, or anyone comes to this football club, and we win 2 in a row, and we win 3 in a row, and 4 in a row, and 5 in a row, okay, good. But I still want to keep them. I would have get the new manager agreed now. Get the new manager agreed now for the future. So we're not second guessing if the manager's going to do that, if the manager's going to do that. And you know what that does to the players as well? It gives the players clarification of what's going on. You know what I mean? So they have an idea what's going on. You know, so what we need is clarification. We need official announcement that the manager is going to be like this manager after the World Cup in July. It's going to be this guy. The manager is going to be this guy. And that's what we need. We need to do something different than what we've always done. Not get to April and think, you know what, Ole, let's give him a let's give him a contract. Let's give him a full-time contract. Insanity, guys. We saw it with our own eyes. We witnessed it with our own eyes. The toxicity in the fan base happened. Everything happened. We were there, guys. It was ridiculous. No manager will succeed under these owners. It's simple as that, because they will not back managers. So it doesn't matter how it comes, unfortunately. It matters if we get, it matters if we get Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Carrick, because at the end of the day, you can have a good manager and it can take us to places like Luis Enrique. And I hope, because it's better than having Carrick and bloody Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in charge. I'd rather have Luis Enrique, and at least those players will play, because ultimately what it's all about is Man United winning. And I think that those players long term would more likely play under Luis Enrique than play under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Michael Carrick. That's just my opinion. I'd rather listen to a Champions League winner than the sacked manager of Middlesbrough and Besiktas, Ball need to go first. They need to sell the club and move on. We won't go anywhere, and the similar wankers are full sale needed. Absolutely. Sal, if Ineos were bought out and removed, would this be a step in the right direction? It makes me a step in. Yeah, it would be a step in the right direction, Mark, because once Ineos are gone, Glazers have to sell. And the reason that Glazers put the Man United on the market in the first place is because they couldn't afford the rebuild, they couldn't afford the reconstruction projects, and they needed to have investment. Unfortunately, Jim Ratcliffe came along and invested in them and gave them a lifeline. Now, if they leave, that's like basically taking off the core, like taking off the first layer of the problem. And then we got to go after the second layer. But what we're doing at the moment in regards to the Glazers, we're not doing enough in regards to the Glazers. The protests are all well and good. The protests are great, but they're not aggressive enough, I would say. It's no point criticizing the protests if no one else is going to do anything, because at the end of the day, I support the protests. I support them, but it needs to be more aggressive. I've said this many, many times. Organized protests are just like a sing-along, a chant. Like when you get a crowd of fans going down the road, la, 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 with the drums, boom, boom, boom. Do you think that the football team who's playing against that team gets intimidated? No, right? So that is exactly what the Glazers think. We want Glazers out. Say, we want Glazers out. Hip, the hop, the hibbity, hibbity, don't stop, boogity, boogity, bee. No, at the end of the day, it needs to be more aggressive, and we need to hit them where it hurts. And that is what Man United need to do. Of course, people have lifestyles, people have their life, people don't want to get a criminal record. Man United need to do something. The only time Glazers spoke to the fans was when we cancelled the Liverpool game. That was the only time. We need power. We need intimidation. We need an ultra mentality. If you know what goes on in Italy, if you know what goes on in other countries, right, in Argentina and places like that, you know what we're talking about here. Intimidation. That's what Man United need. We don't need sing-alongs. You know what I mean? We don't need, Ollie's at the wheel. We want Glazers out. Compilation CD 2026. Goodness sake. Benny. But as we said, Luis Enrique simply won't back, so simply won't be back. Yeah, but I'd rather have him than not have him. That's what I would say. Rather than having Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or Carrick and all that business. You're right about the coach, Sal. In reality, we're never going to get rid of the owners, so we need to get our football analysts and coaches and managers. Of course, where was I? Let me move it up. Owners, so we need to get our football analysts, coaches, and managers in order, or else we'll be back. It's exactly what Peter Schmeichel said, David, on my Twitter. It's exactly what he said. We need to step back, take a breath. They've made the wrong decision. So step back, take a breath. And what we need to do is say, okay, now we are here. It is what it is. How are we going to get back to Manchester United? How are we going to make Manchester United again? Right? And that is basically what we need to do. What is the best way to do it? Now, I would love that to happen. But we all know what's going to take. It's going to take this, isn't it? Money. And this is the biggest problem. Now, thankfully, Ruben Amorim has left some decent players. Ahmad, Mbeumo, Cunha, De Ligt, Mazraoui. Young players like Euro, Aiden Heaven. We got some good players in there. Sesko, All they need to do is exactly what Ruben Amorim needed, was to fix that midfield. Buy a right back, buy a left back, fix that midfield. I don't even think they need a left back anymore. Dorgu's doing fantastic, right? Dorgu can play there. They need another wing back and they need a midfield. That's what they need. And that is exactly what Amorim needs. So we are not so far away in regards to having a good team. So I would much rather them spend that money on the midfield with a Luis Enrique than with a Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or a Michael Carrick. You know what I mean? And that's what I would say. Right? What they've done to Ruben Amorim is disgraceful. Right? They've done it the wrong way. But I would much rather now. It doesn't mean that I'm just going to give up. I would always say, I don't care what they think. We still need to get a good manager. Go and get the best manager. Go and get Luis Enrique. Go and get someone like that. Go and get the best manager out there. And that is right now, Luis Enrique is the best manager out there. And that's what it is. You know, because at the end of the day, if we just say, okay, we're happy with Carrick, we're happy with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, they're just going to say, oh, great, fantastic. They're happy with that. That's brilliant. It doesn't matter then, does it? You know, they're happy for Ole. They're going to sing songs about Ole. Ole's at the wheel. Ole's at the wheel is not going to get us to a title. You know what I mean? And we need to be more scary. You know what I mean? Scott, I just do not think Man United want a manager like that again. They want the same situation at Chelsea. They want a yes man because they do. And we need to combat that. And this is why the protests are going on. Guys, listen, let me tell you something about this, right? I was told when we were linked to Baleba, when there were protests organized, right? There were protests organized and we were linked to Baleba. And someone came up to me and said, Sal, you should apologize to Jim Ratcliffe. You should apologize to the board and the owners because you were wrong about them. Here we are, guys. Lo and behold. Lo and behold. I was told to apologize to the board. Me. The ownership. I was told to apologize to them because you were wrong. Sal, you were wrong. Where have they gone? I want your apologies to be as loud as your criticism. Because at the end of the day, before the takeover process happened, I was on it. We need a full sale. We need a full sale. We need a full sale. People think that I'm giving myself blood pressure for no bloody reason. I'm giving myself this because I knew that was the only way forward for Manchester United. We didn't make this. Chelsea, Man City, Newcastle now have made football like this. We didn't make football like this. We made success organically, not like Man City and that who were giving success. We made football ourselves successful organically. But now it doesn't matter. It is what it is. You either sink or you swim. We needed a full sale. We needed a glaze out. The debt cleared. That is exactly what Man United needed. And I criticised Jim because he facilitated the Glazers, because he went to bed with the Glazers. He gave them mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. He gave them a life support machine. That's why I criticised Jim and Ineos. And people were telling me prematurely, right, that, you know what, Sal, you were wrong. Go and apologise to the ownership. Wow. I couldn't believe what I was hearing then just because we were linked to Baleba. And lo and behold, right, as soon as that Baleba links happened, the protest stopped. And then they took away the Baleba deal. They took away the Baleba deal, and there you go. They played you, motherfucker. Motherfucker, they played you, motherfucker. They played you. There you go. And people don't understand what liars, manipulators, these frauds are. And that's what I would say. I just sent Benny that spot on, big up. Luis Enrique dream. If not, then Merck De Zerbi. Plays proper football. Absolutely, Amorim. He's a good manager as well. Again, would they go for him? Would they go for him? United be scared to sign an elite manager because the elite manager will not tolerate their stupidity and he wants things done his way, which the board will not. But we don't accept that. Exactly that again. Break out the vapes out. Trust me, bruv. Trust me. Goodness me, but imagine. Will support the coach until he's released by the board. He was a soldier with a gun and ammo. You know what? You know what's going to happen, guys? Ruben Amorim will go down a hero, a legend at Man United. You know that? Because if this triggers, for example, a protest and Ineos leave, he's a hero, guys. And then we can go back to the Glazers. We didn't need. It's like basically, you know what? 2 for the price of 1. The Glazers and Ineos. just even though we got enough problems as it is, with let alone having the Glazers and Ineos in top of the Glazers, you know what I mean? Scott, Glinios is shite to Jim Platt and the rest of the shits, absolutely. Big up, Max. Big up. I am not convinced that Fletcher will get manager bounce as an Aussie. I was proud that Bosnich played at MUC. He follows me on Twitter, Mark Bosnich. He's a good lad, and he spoke the truth. He spoke the gospel. If you look on my Twitter page, he said, I posted a video what he said on TV, and Golaxo. And he's a decent lad. And there are some ex-players out there that don't concentrate on their own interests and have no affiliation to Jim Ratcliffe and the Glazers and Ineos. They only care about the football club and they think logically about the football club. If you listen, also, let me give a shout out to Troy Deeney. Troy Deeney, again, another, not even associated with Man United. Listen to what Troy Deeney said. Now, you know the people who don't have agendas. You know the people who haven't got a conflict of interest, you know, and listen to the people who don't have agendas. Listen to the people who don't have a conflict of interest. Listen to those people. That is my advice. Listen to the people who don't have a conflict of interest. Peter Schmeichel, Troy Deeney, Mark Bosnich, these kind of people who are not associated with the Glazers, who do not need the Glazers, you know what I mean? Who not, you know, and do not have a project in mind for the future, i.e. the stadium and hotel football and blah, blah, blah. You know, like Gary Neville. Listen to the people. Guys, Sky Sports, Nicky Butt, Paul Scholes are run by Sky. Sky have a narrative against Man United. They don't like Man United. So Paul Scholes and Nicky Butt are going to be on the anti thing, my side, not on my side, if you know what I mean. Mark, I agree only that we've seen this before. I actually trusted the fan base this time around to see the manager out to at least the end of this full season, but saw the mind virus spread quickly. Exactly. People are so easily manipulated. It's scary. You know, Sal, are they happy now? What do not want Qatar? We do not want to lose our soul. Bullshit. Oh, what? They don't want to lose their soul? Yeah. Support Donald Trump then. Go on, because that is exactly what you're supporting. Support Donald Trump. Support genocide, because that is what they supported. Go on and support them, because you know what? You support the Americans. Let's go on that line. Yeah, if we're going to get political. Shall we get political? We can, because you will get, these people will get sat down like this, mic drop. You know? Let's ask them people in the Middle East how great, you know, the Glazers are, and America, who are puppets to Donald Trump and people like that. Irfan, if Ineos couldn't get the timing of their sacking right, how are they even going to identify it? They shouldn't even have sacked him, mate. Thank you so much for liking the stream, guys. Really appreciate it. They sacked the manager and we immediately dropped 2 positions. Absolutely, Irfan. Big up, Irfan. Sam, my grandfather is a better coach than Ole. The United board should, for once, be serious and get... You know what, Sam? I know. Get Enrique through the door. I'm telling you now, I'm not stupid, guys. Enrique's that guy. Enrique's that guy. Enrique lost his daughter, you know, and, you know, he's been through a lot in life. And I've got a lot of respect for Luis Enrique. A lot of respect, all right? So much respect. And for him to show that character and that strength, to still do his job, to still go out there and win the title and win the Champions League for the first time in PSG's history, to do something like that. The guy is an absolute amazing human being. So we need that. We don't need, we're gonna be scared again. We're gonna be scared. Yeah, we're gonna have all guys. I'm tired of these heartstrings, these second-tier footballers. I don't want to know. Ole's a legend as a footballer and not as a manager. Carrick is a legend as a footballer, not as a manager. Carrick got sacked by Middlesbrough. Ole got sacked by Besiktas. And like some people who got their minds screwed on, right? What has Ole done to persuade us, since he left Man United, that he's going to be different? What? At Besiktas, only a few months ago, guys. You know what I mean? What has Carrick done? There's managers out there who would have got Middlesbrough promoted, by the way. No, so we need to look at things, not just because they're legends at Man United. We just need to look at things from a realistic point of view, are they going to succeed long-term for Man United and get Man United where I truly believe we should be, which is challenging for the league title and Champions League titles? Or can they do that? You know? But let me just tell you something, guys. Ruben Amorim was sacked through ego of the board because they got called out. Ruben Amorim was not sacked because of results. Scott, we would have 8 players back in a couple of weeks. Mount, Bruno come back, then Mbeumo, Ahmad, Maguire, Dilly. Guys, just a reminder, we got Cameroon against Morocco later on. We're gonna have Mazraoui or Mbeumo back to that. So at the end of the day, who do you want back? Mbeumo for me. Guys, yeah. So Morocco against Cameroon tonight. We're gonna have 1 player back. Good news. Absolutely. I just can't believe what has happened. Absolutely, Scott. In the next 3 games could define our season. These next 3 games are absolutely huge. No one thought what went into that. Absolutely. We got a massive few games. We got the Cup on Sunday, and then we've got Man City, and then we got Arsenal. No rest for the wicked, guys. There you go. Straight into the deep end. You know what I mean? Here you go. Go and fly. That's what it is at the end of the day. You know? It's mad, isn't it? Any news on our interim coach? No, David, because what has happened, it was going to be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. There was lots of rumors about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but they checked social media and the media, and they've looked at it and said, oh, this is an unpopular decision. Oh, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, they don't have their own mind. So they've looked at social media. They've seen all the tweets. They've seen the media itself, the mainstream media, and they said, oh, this is not a popular decision, you know. This is not popular, you know. We better reevaluate what we're going to do. You know, and that's what they've done. Wilcox is a bigger problem, and they're all problem, fan. They're all problem. They're all problems. Because let's not forget that Jim backed Wilcox. All right? Bro, I saw someone swimming with Mars. Oh, yeah, the COVID thing. One thing I'll say about the COVID thing, look, I don't want to bring that in, but I used to work in a hospital for 5 years, and I saw some awful things. So, you know, it was real, guys. You know what I mean? But, you know, that's it. I had to stop people seeing their dad or their mums for the last time. That was my responsibility at the hospital. I had to stop people seeing their dad and mums for the last time. I lived it, guys. Do you know what I mean? I worked in a hospital, guys. Do you know what I mean? You know? And they couldn't see their mum or dad alive again, basically. We were in bunch-ups because they weren't allowed to go in 1 at a time. The rest of them couldn't, you know? Years ago. Joe, so for me, it doesn't matter who we get because they will be destroyed their manager career. It does matter who we get, Joe. It does matter. Sorry, Joe. It does matter. It does matter. Because if we just accept mediocrity, they're going to give you mediocrity. If you say, oh, it doesn't matter anymore. They love that. The Ineos and Glazers love that. This is the Man United problem. Oh, it doesn't matter anyway. We're not going to get rid of him anyway. Oh, we're not going to do that anyway. We still need to get good managers. We still need to try it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know, I'm not going to say, I know that they're not going to back him to the levels that we want him to back, but I still want a very good manager. I don't want Michael Carrick and Darren Fletcher, you know what I mean, or Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I don't want that. I'd much rather have Luis Enrique. It matters a whole deal. And this is the pressure that we need to put on them, you know? Mark, once Glenios are gone, I bet you anything media will be over. It will and say how toxic they were, and how they held the club back. Blah blah blah. Eventually, Mark, like it in many years' time, like back in the old days. Eventually, in the future, they're going to say, you remember that guy from Stretford Post who said this about that, or said that about this. He was right, or a certain group, they're going to be deemed heroes because this always happens. Retrospectively, and humans are always very retrospective, and they always look at things in the future backwards and think that guy there changed the narrative. That guy there done this, and no one believed in him. But look what happened. You know what I mean? No one believed in Einstein. They thought he was a clown, a joker, a witch. People believe in him now, don't they? Under Amram, Heaven was vigorous. So was Ahmad in that. He would have slid into tackles. That's own goal shows no real effort from Heaven. He just stuck his foot out. That showed how our players didn't care, mate. Reacted. Yeah, they didn't care, mate. It was nonchalant, wasn't it, Irfan? The Premier League should have the 50+1 rule like they have. Yeah, that has to go from above, of course. I would love that. Big up, Jaffa. What's going on? In recent times, I've just stopped believing in anything these owners will do. No good will come from these people. I just watched the match, and that's it. We win. I'm happy. We don't. Nothing new. Big up, Jaffa. I'm going to carry on fighting. You know what I mean? I'm never going to stop fighting. Manchester United will never become Manchester as long as Wilcox is interfering with the manager, as long as Ineos and the Glazers here. Like, let's not forget, as long as Ineos and the Glazers here, not Man United will never become Man United as long as Wilcox here. Man United will not become Man United as long as the whole bloody lot are here. That is it. Because even if you remove Wilcox, the same shit will happen. Which it has done for 10 years. 12 years, 20 years. Come people, hit the like button and subscribe. Now 100 people, only 47 likes. Guys, don't forget to smash a like on the video, you frauds. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Smash the likes and subscribe. Thank you so much. Big up yourself. Of course. I'm fed up of watching the midfielders passing around side to side. Avram Glazer and Joe Glazer should buzz off and out of football with David Sullivan, Karen Brady. Yep. We don't have owners. We have bloodsuckers. Absolutely, David. Spot on. Absolutely. That's exactly what it is. I think if we want to return to prime time, is big up Ida, by the way, 1983, to have a manager who gives good vibes and who stays for 20 years. Ole will never leave. Yeah, but you need to have a brain and tactics, mate. You know what I mean? We all been there. Vibes can get you so far. Not now. Vibes, you can't get far on vibes. Let me tell you what vibes is like, Ida, yeah? Vibes is like drinking a Red Bull, right? And you get that boost. You know that boost? Vibes will just drop. Vibes. Human beings don't live on vibes. Human beings, successful people, and let me tell you, as a guy in the music industry for 20 years, right, who worked with legends, right? Let me tell you something. It's not all about vibes. It's not. The best thing to do in life, you have to be a disciplinarian. The best players at Man United ever were disciplinarians. Alex Ferguson was a disciplinarian. Keane was a disciplinarian. Beckham was a disciplinarian. Giggs was a disciplinarian. They were all disciplinarians. Vibes won't get you anywhere. And it was proven with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You know? We would have lost. We're starting to lose. We were losing. We were gonna get relegated, honestly. We need a disciplinarian. Someone's gonna lay the foundations of this is Manchester United. And if you fuck around, you're out the door. That is what Man United need. Players are too rich, are too pampered to have vibes. They will take advantage of it. They'll be in New York a day before the game, just like Rashford was. Do you know what I mean? They played your mother. Oh, you are funny. Big fan. We need a coach with the United DNA. We do. Man U is a business, a bad business, as owned by owners have proved. The only true way I see this being 1 billion in debt is a total sale. Exactly. I have looked at the financials and see no way. The only way that it could happen, Scott, I said it the other day, is if the government come out and say, right, how long you've been in debt? Your debt is not clearing. You have to sell. That's the only way I see it happening, because the only way it can happen is getting the government involved. And that's it. And if the owners are Russian, if the owners were Arab, you know, whatever, they would have been out by now. You know, because they're American. Guys, as a guy, my grandma's American and all that. I know this. You know, because they're American, they're still at the football club. You know, and they're connected. Scott. They had to borrow against credit in the summer to make the buys they did. Even after that, they fired all those people. This is just a bad deal. Yep. Troy Deeney is jealous of United. Troy Deeney spoke the truth, David. You didn't see it. Check it out. He's one of the only few people who spoke the truth. Fair play to him. I give him his props, man. No one else has done that. So-called Man United legends and fans, you know. I listened to Troy. Boy, oh boy, is he embarrassing Neville, Scholes, and Butt. He embarrassed them, mate. He sent them to the cleaners. He said, taxi for Neville, Butt, and Scholes. Troy Deeney. No affiliation to Man United. Troy Deeney, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I mean? And that's what we're talking about. Peter Schmeichel, Mark Bosnich. No affiliation to the Glazers. Look at the way they're talking. That's how we have to analyze it. Look at people who don't have their own interest. Look at that. Look at people who are balanced. Dream scenario. Club bought in tomorrow, in the summer, and new owners bring back Amram. I mean, it will never come back. Never come back. And this is exactly what I was talking about Qatar. Why would Qatar come back when we disrespected them? When Jim Ratcliffe lied about Sheikh Jassim Hamid not being real and things like that. You know what I mean? Sal, I agree with you. Sky don't like United. You see the way they talk about United with so much hatred. Yes. I know. Man, them minions. Alice was on Smoke, so she said people that back the manager in an Amram sexual cult for fancies him. She says that this is then in the same stream questions why a fan base is so divided. I hope someone called that witch, because that's all she is, mate. I'm a married man. I've got a beautiful wife, and if I woke up next to that, I would probably think about jumping off the Burj Khalifa. Do you know what I mean? Which is down the road for me. She needs to just hush her mouth, be quiet, brush her teeth, and shut up. And that's all she needs to do. That's it. We all know you're a plant. That's all you are. Fucking get a decoration for your dead living room. You know what I mean? I don't care about, let me tell you something about me, right? People talk on Twitter. That's all they do. I live this thing, right? If they think that they're saying smart-ass comments like that, when we're talking about the football club and the future of the football club and getting the Glazers out and not being a Glazer bootlicker like she is, she comes out with insults because she has no intelligence. And that's what it is at the end of the day. She's a Glazer bootlicker. The Glazers have won again. Ineos have won again because of people like that. She only wanted it. I could argue she only wanted Amram out because Amram gets more women than she does. Ole did good last time. You are living in a dream. He did good for about 15 games, and that's it. 50 likes, big up. Ole was foul at Man United. He apologized to Rashford, and he's a Glazer puppet. 50 likes out, everyone. He didn't do good last time. He was being booed. We lost 5-0 to Liverpool at home. We lost 6-1 to Tottenham. We lost 4-0 to Everton. We lost 6-1 and he won no trophies. And he's never won a trophy as a manager. Amram has. Big up my friend Shook. What's going on, my friend Shukri? How you doing, my friend? Ruben is the manager we needed. I always wanted him for a long term. He was doing perfectly well as fans have fallen for those false agenda run against Ruben Amorim by the media. Also, Kobe faked injury. I know, mate. I know. He did. Fake being a good player as well because he came on against Burnley and done shit. Morning, Sal. Just joined the stream. What's their ultimatum on Enrique wants transfers. If he's going to come to Man United, he's interested in going to Man United, but ultimately he wants transfers, guys. Absolutely. You know? Sal, what's the difference between the coach and the manager? A manager decides what players he wants to buy. A manager decides what formation he wants to play. A manager basically is the owner of the football team and what the football team looks like. Now, what a coach is, you coach the team on a training field with the players that they picked for you, right? And probably the formation they picked for you now, given the last couple of days. And you live it and shut up, and that's about it. That's basically what it is. You coach the team on the training field. You coach the team on the match day. You take the team to match day. But in regards to the transfers, all that stuff, all that jazz is done by them. They'll give you an opinion. They'll say, oh, what do you think? We're thinking of buying Carlos Baleba, for example. We're thinking of buying Carlos Baleba, you know? And they will say, Ruben, what do you think? Yeah, I like Carlos Baleba. Okay. But then it goes to an adjudicator. He doesn't have the most important voice, not necessarily. So when you see Wilcox and Barada, they do not look like Manchester board of directors. They're not inspiring at all. One thing I will say, they're not inspiring at all. Dave, by the way, why are we waiting for the club to go back to its glory days? Yet we have Glinios and 2 Manchester City undercover agents in Barada and Wilcox. I know, mate. Trust it. Trust the process. Hoping for vibes to change the state of the club is what you hope for to happen when you don't have any real hope of anymore. Exactly. If you're a homeless man and someone puts their arm around you and says, you'll get there, son. Don't worry about it. Keep positive. Stay positive, mate. You'll get there. See you later. But help me get on my feet. No, it's all right. You'll get there, mate. See you later. It's ridiculous. Sanjit, do we need a manager or a coach? We need a manager. That's what we need. We need the manager to make the decisions. Like what has been Man United's most successful era? A manager, hasn't it? You know, with a coach to his side. You can have a coach. We got coaches. You need a manager. You know. No problem, mate. No problem, brother. No problem, Dave. Vibes is like drinking Red Bull. Exactly. Quick jump, crash back down to earth. Yo, Sal, what's the theory on Alice being a plant? Liked her channel last year, but she annoys the shit out of me now. She's a plant, mate, an industry plant. She's a plant from industry to go to like an Ineos bootlicker, a Glazer bootlicker. That's what she is. You know, that's what she is. You know, female, you know, IC1, favoritism, plant. That's what she is. You know, and that's what she is, guys. And my mum's an IC1, so don't, before you jump on that shit, don't tell. You know, at the end of the day. So at the end of the day, guys, I call it as it is, guys. There's no sugarcoating a Stretford Post. And if she wants to come on this channel and she wants to argue that point, she's perfectly entitled to. But I'm a proper Man United fan, 40 years. She wasn't even spunk in her dad's bollocks before I came into the scene, guys. You know what I mean? Before YouTube was around, I was on bloody Kiss and MTV, guys. Making shit happen. These guys are giving it. You know what I mean? And that's the difference. You know? These people are dangerous to Manchester United. She was jealous of Ruben Amorim. And that was it. You know? Big up SLD. We need quality characters like Enrique. Big up. Ole is good. Mate, get out of here, man. A bounce, that's all he's good for. A bounce. Absolutely. Ole is not good. Only kids like you think Ole is good. You don't know what is good. Trust me. Guys, he was being booed out of Old Trafford, by the way. So, what's your tip for long-lasting marriage? Opposites attract. Acceptance. Laugh. Giggle. Enjoy. That's it. Make jokes. That's what you do. Enjoy. Smile. Be happy. Help each other. Be there for each other. It's easy, mate. That's my advice for marriage. I never thought I'd get marriage advice on the Man United channel, but that's my advice for marriage. Wake up in the morning when she wakes up. Even if you don't have to wake up in the morning, wake up in the morning, make a coffee for her. You know, or he, whatever. You know, that's what you do. That's my advice for a long-lasting marriage. See the beauty in every small thing. You know, in everything she does. See the beauty. Exactly, man. Them they won't, but they still need to get him. Because I'm not being inspired by Glazer puppets anymore. You know, I'm not being inspired by it. Not anymore. Exactly, Dave. All day long, mate. We still love United, guys. Obviously, we do, and we still want Man United to win. Obviously, we do. You know, I would say, you know, and that's what I would say about that. You know, but guys, look. There are a lot of idiots around. There's a lot of idiots with big platforms and big mouths and little brains. There's lots of sinister people around that don't understand Man United, don't know nothing about Man United, don't know nothing about the problems that surround Man United, that are behind the scenes at Man United, don't know nothing about that. You know, I think it's very careful who people support. You know? Yeah, so what do you do, Gaurav? Do you give up and you just become a Glazer-nomic? You become a Glazer or Ineos bootlicker and just give up? Luis Enrique plays 4 at the back. There's no excuse there. Mandem. Also, will Ineos be able to have a manager like Enrique? If we look at how they run things, Enrique be able to thrive? Will he just come here and drown? Everyone will, Mandem. Everyone will drown. Ole will drown. Fletcher will drown. Carrick will drown. It doesn't matter who is there. They will drown. We might as well get the best person to drown. I mean, if you know what I mean. Did you see the Martinelli? Yes, I saw it. Did you see the Martinelli incident in the Liverpool game? Yes, I did, and it was disgraceful. I did, and he should be disciplined for that. He should be banned. Bradley, of course, could have had an injury, a serious injury, but it's typical Arsenal, isn't it? You know, it's typical Arsenal. Look, we saw Dorgu being stamped on, you know, for goodness sake. We saw Dorgu being stamped on and nothing happened. We saw Dalot being strangled by Semenyo, nothing happened, you know. That's it. Said and company, mate, listen, Dave, you don't need to tell me anything about it because I've mentioned it 1,000 times. I've mentioned his name on Twitter at him. Mate, you don't need to tell me about that. You don't need to tell me about the birds and the bees, Dave. I'm one of the only people. I am the only bloody person who does it. I'm the only person, and not only Said, and this is football related, this is not personal. Let me just tell you something. I'm the only person who calls them out. I'm the only person who imitates them, mimics them, and tells them about their footballing opinion. No one else would do that but me. Only me. I don't see anyone else doing the things that I do. No one has done the things that I do. I sacrifice myself for this club. You know, no one is doing what I'm doing. Do you think I'll come on here and talk about Alex or talk about this? You know what I mean? I've got the cojones. You know what I mean? I'm the only one that's a bloody cojones in this content creation business that can go out there and tell them. You know what I mean? Tell them to their face. Or go on Twitter and tell them. You know? Also, why are the big six people boring? You need to tune in, David, to Stretford Post a lot more. You'll see what I've done. Boring these days. Also, why are the Big 16 games so boring these days? That game yesterday was an awful watch. I mean, because tactical freedom has been taken away from football. That's what it is, and we don't get anything. You know what I mean? Now, any form of entertainment, any great goals, and anything like that, in my opinion. You know. Yeah, we needed that under Amarim, Gurav. We need that under Ole. We need that under Amarim. We need it under Carrick. We need it under Fletcher. We don't just need it at guys, you know, we don't just need it under Luis Enrique. We need it under every manager, my guy. Every manager. I don't want Ole. I don't want Carrick. I don't want Fletcher. I don't want puppets. I want a good manager with those signings. I don't want to have Anderson or Wharton or Belabor and a bloody Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Fletcher or Carrick. No, thank you, mate. Luis Enrique won a Champions League. Best manager in Europe at the moment for me. Right now. Right? And that's it. And that's factual. Won the Champions League, smashed up Inter Milan in the final, and Inter Milan and no mugs. That is a winner. That's all we are. What did Ole do? Villarreal. Remember that? Yeah, of course we remember that. He's not going to get you over the line. And that's what it is. No matter. He spent 400 million on Man United, by the way. He had Herrera, Pogba, and Matic in his team. And we couldn't do anything. 1-0. Schooled by Barcelona 4-0 in aggregate. You remembers that? You know, I was there, guys. I wanted nothing more. I was at the new camp in 98, 99. You know? Big up Gaurav anyway. Guys, I'm at... thank you, everyone. I will be back later on, guys. I'm also doing a watch-along for Cameroon against Morocco. So don't forget to join me for that, guys. It's going to be a good one. I'm doing the AFCON, of course. So that's going to be a good one. Obviously, we might have Mazraoui or we might have Mbeumo back. You know, that's going to be good. I'm honored to be doing the AFCON. I think the AFCON has been fantastic. I've enjoyed it. Big shout out to African football. And a big commiserations to those people who don't like African football, who haven't done the watch on that. I've enjoyed it 100%, and I will continue to do so. And I'm looking for the game tonight. Obviously, I'm looking forward to seeing Mbeumo and looking forward, obviously, Mazraoui. And, you know, one of them will be back. I would like Mbeumo to be back on the attacking side, of course, so I'll be cheering on Morocco today. All right? That's the reason I'll be cheering on Morocco, because I want Mbeumo to be back, of course, in Man United's team. David, in South Africa, we have a cup named a Black Label, where they do one of the fans coach the team for that day. Decided to coach United for one game. Mate, he can't get out of his seat, David. You know, you got to be careful. You got to look after the guy. You got to look after the guy. The guy's about 500 pounds. For goodness sake, you got to give him a rest, man. Ephraim, Sal, do you brave enough? You do not fear call anybody. I know, mate. Thank you, brother. Thank you. I don't care, mate. I don't care. And I've got thick skin. People can attack me. And let me just tell you something. A lot of these people attack me first. You know that. Let me just tell you, I've got evidence. A lot of them people attack me first. Yeah? Why did they attack me? Because my knowledge is better than theirs. It's not about numbers for me. I didn't get a Mark Goldbridge platform. You know? At the end of the day, you know, they attack me first. You know, I bite back. And at the end of the day, but what I do is I will always give a legitimate footballing opinion. Cholesterol FC, yeah, I mean, yeah. But it's all love, guys. You know, it's look, at the end of the day, I try not to be personal. You know, but they're continuing to be rude and stuff. But it's fine, guys. I've been proven right a number of times. I have not lost yet. I was right about Ten Hag. Whatever you want to think, I've been right about Ten Hag. I've been right about Amram. I'm going to be right, but it doesn't matter about me and my opinion and I'm right and wrong. It matters about Manchester United. And this is exactly what I've been talking about from the beginning. All that matters is Manchester United for me. That's all that matters. You know, nothing else matters for me. I don't care these big voices, the man, them minions and stuff like that. I don't care about that. You know? By the way, Man Dem Minions merchandise is coming close to you guys. I've got the t-shirts. I've got everything coming along very soon, guys. The Man Dem Minions t-shirt. Don't worry. That is coming, guys. Guys, copyrighted and everything. There you go, guys. That's going to be coming. But guys, I thank you for everyone for joining me. I will be back later, of course, for Chatterbox, and I'll also be doing the watch-along for Cameroon against Morocco in the African nations, guys. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Have a great day. And guys, listen, we move, and that's all we can do at the end of the day. But never, ever lower your expectations and put the pressure on Ineos, guys. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me just read out a couple of comments here first. I will be there for the watch along. Big up, Sal. Big up, Ephraim. Also, I feel that there's, okay, move on from a few players that have become uncomfortable for too long. I agree with that, Shukri. Yes. One of the first things I would have done, Shukri, my guy, is when I walked into the football club, if I was Ruben Amorim or if I had any other manager, I would have said, okay, could you give me a list of the contracts? And then I would look at the contracts and then look at the date when they joined. And I'll look at those dates when they joined. I'll say, okay, him. I don't want him here anymore. So the owners will say, why don't you want them here anymore? I say, because they've been here so long and they've sacked multiple managers and they've not won anything. Okay, we get rid of them. And that's the first thing I would have done. There's only a handful of people I'll keep, Shukri. Yeah. Only a handful of people I'll keep. Guys, thanks again. Legends, of course. Stretford Post all day long. Let's keep growing together. And guys, don't forget, I'm back later. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Smash a like, put your notifications on. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. See you soon, guys. Peace.